In this episode, I'm going to reveal the simple strategy that you can use to unlock unlimited traffic to your store. You're listening to The Liftoff Show, the podcast for ambitious e-commerce entrepreneurs, helping you increase sales, profits, and build a powerhouse brand fast. I'm your host, Austin Lovell, and welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 5 of the Liftoff Show, and I'm super excited for this one because we're going to be talking about the Dream 100, the simple strategy that you can use, as I said, to unlock unlimited traffic to your website, to your product pages, to new offers, to anywhere that you like. And I'm going to be walking through how to infiltrate these hyper-engaged audiences online where your dream customers are hanging out. But before we get into all that, let me clarify what the Dream 100 is if you haven't heard of it before. And I'm going to read an extract from the book by Russell Brunson, Traffic Secrets, founder of ClickFunnels. And in here, he talks about the Dream 100 and introduces what it's all about. And he talks about the story of Chet Holmes. And in his book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, he really details the Dream 100 strategy and how he used it. So let me go ahead and read this section here. So he says, early in Chet's career, he worked for Charlie Munger, who you probably know as Warren Buffett's business partner in Berkshire Hathaway. And Chet sold advertising for one of the company's legal magazines. And at the time, they were really struggling. They were last in sales in their market. And Chet was working with a database of over 2,000 advertisers. He'd make sales calls every day, but he was still dead last at number 15 out of 15 magazines in their industry. Then one day, Chet had an idea. He did some research and he discovered that out of those 2,000 advertisers, 167 of them were spending 95% of their advertising budgets with his competitors. So he decided that instead of targeting all of the 2,000, he would just go for those 167. And after a few months, Chet landed the first big account, Xerox, and it was the biggest advertising buy ever for the company. And by the 6th month, he had landed 28 out of the 167 advertisers. And with those 28, he then went ahead and doubled the sales from the previous year, and they went from number 15 in the industry up to number 1. He kept doubling sales, going up and up and up, until by the end of year 3, he had successfully partnered with all 167 of his Dream 100 as advertisers in their magazine. So using the Dream 100 strategy is really understanding, first of all, who your dream customers are and where they are currently congregating online. And to take what Chet was doing here and relate it back to e-commerce, he decided that, hey, instead of going for all of these different potential customers, I'm going to go to the top customers, the dream customers, and go to them directly. And instead of going for 2,000, he went to the most defined dream. The Dream 100 is fundamentally unlike an ad campaign where you're spending money to get in front of your audience and try and sell them your content online on the websites that your dream customers instead is going to where your dream customers already are online and putting your product in front of them. And your Dream 100, your list of blogs, YouTube channels, Facebook, Instagram influencers, forums, online sites, wherever it is that your dream customers are hanging out, this is incredibly powerful because you can connect with your customers where they currently are, where they're already congregating online. You can go ahead and build market omnipresence because if you're in all of these publications, you're in these YouTube channels, if you're getting shout outs from these influencers that you know that your dream customer is following, then everywhere they go online, your brand is going to be there. And another major reason is that you can authority hijack from these influencers and from these sites and publications, blogs and forums that already have a significant following. So you can go ahead and infiltrate these congregations, get your message to those hyper engaged audiences, and start getting more traffic, more engagement, and more sales. And just to clarify before we go on, your Dream 100 doesn't need to be 100 places. You know, for Chet, it was 167 of his dream clients, the best advertisers. And for you, it might be 120, it might be 160. You might have 300 people, places, websites, forums on your Dream 100 list. And here at Crafted, we have over 280 places, YouTube channels, influencers on our Dream 100 list. So your list basically represents the top places where you know your dream customers are congregating. There's no limit on that, and you can refine it over time. So as you maybe engage with a certain audience or work with a certain website or forum or maybe work with a certain influencer, and you find that maybe it didn't perform as well as you'd like, or you didn't get the results you were looking for, you might realize that maybe their audience isn't exactly aligned with who your dream customer is. So you can remove them from your list and then begin to add in new people over time, new websites and channels and Facebook pages and everything along those lines. Now that you understand what the Dream 100 is all about, now it's time to actually go ahead and build your own Dream 100 for your brand. And the top places that you really want to consider are the websites and forums that your dream customers are spending their time on. You want to look at the Facebook groups that they're currently active in. You want to look at the influencers that they follow on Facebook and Instagram. You want to look at the podcasts that they listen to, the email newsletters that they subscribe to, the blogs they actively read, the YouTube channels that they subscribe to, and any other places online where you know they congregate. And of course, it may not be easy if you're just getting started to think about, okay, where is my dream customer hanging out online? But the way that we approached it and the way I did it, when we're doing this Dream 100 exercise for Crafted, is you first start by asking your existing customers. You ask, hey, what podcast do you listen to? Hey, what influencers or people do you follow on YouTube? What people do you follow on Facebook and Instagram? What blogs do you read? What other content do you consume? And this will give you a really good starting point, because rather than hypothesizing and thinking, okay, where are they online? I have no idea. You can actually ask your existing customers and see where they are. And that's the core of the Dream 100 exercise. As I said before, it's all about knowing who your dream customers are and then going to where they're already congregating online. So if you haven't taken some time, go and revisit your ideal customer avatar. Who is it that you want to sell your products to? And who has been your most hyper engaged customer base or customer segment? Who are they? What's their age demographic? Where do they live? What do they do? What's their name? What do they look like? All of these different factors. You should sort of know your ideal customer better than they know themselves in terms of what do they do every day? What really motivates them to buy? What's most important to them? And what's that number one hair on fire problem that they're facing? So once you have that crystal clear picture of who your ideal customer is, most of you already have that already. If you don't, go and revisit that, because that's so important. And it saved us so much time when it came to crafted advertising and to, creating this podcast even, and thinking about what's the most valuable content we can put out there online. So it's really going to help our dream customers and really give, ambitious e-commerce entrepreneurs everything that they need to increase their sales and profits and build a powerhouse brand. So it starts by understanding your ideal customer. Then once you have that, you can then go ahead and talk with them, ask them, look where they're spending their time online. Who are they following online? Where are they congregating? Because then when it comes to infiltrating your Dream 100, when it comes to getting in front of that audience on those platforms, on those forums, on those YouTube channels, it becomes a lot easier, because first of all, you know who your dream customer is. Second, you know that they're congregating there online. And third, the people that are on your Dream 100 list, they're generally aligned with your brand values, or they're aligned with what you're doing, because that's why your audience loves them so much. That's why your audience and your dream customers are already consuming their content or on those websites or channels or Instagram or Facebook pages, because they resonate well with that person or that brand or that forum or website, whatever it is. So if you're going to go there, you can be confident that your brand, if it's aligned with what they actually want and what their problem is that they're trying to solve, that it's going to resonate really, really well with them as well. And now that you have your Dream 100 list, now you want to start building relationships with those people. And for influencers, you may be able to just reach out to them directly, send them a direct message on Instagram and say, hey, would love to collaborate on a promotion here. How much does it cost per post, or what are your rates for brand promotions? And you can infiltrate your Dream 100 in that way. And that's a lot easier when it comes to influencer marketing and tapping into those niche audiences on Facebook and Instagram. And another thing that you can do for other places online, it could be a certain publication that you want to be promoted in. It could be a YouTube channel that's a lot bigger, but you know for sure that your dream customers are watching that channel, that they're engaging with that content. It may take some more time to work your way in there. And how the approach that I love most for this is the one that Gary Vee mentions of jab, 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 right hook. You want to give value, engage with their content, be helpful. And then, and only then, once you feel like you've given so much, is then ask. And then go ahead and say, hey, look, we've done all this incredible work together. I can see we've collaborated on another brand promotion, or no, I absolutely love your content. It's been super, super helpful. And I think your audience would absolutely love my product. I think your audience would absolutely love my new drink bottle, would love my new headphones, would love the new product that we're launching. Wanted to see if you'd be willing to promote it. And there's two ways that you can obviously do that. You could promote it just a standard promotion, and it could be a certain one-off fee that you pay the website or the YouTube channel or the influencer just to promote your product. And another way that you could do it is by having a percentage split on sales. So for every time that a sale is generated through their channels and through the traffic that they're sending across to your store, then you can go ahead and give them a percentage of that. An affiliate commission for any sales they generate. It could be a special discount code that they provide. And this is pretty basic stuff, but infiltrating your Dream 100 is honestly going to be the most powerful thing that you do over the next month, the next 2 months, the next 6 months. This is how you bring unlimited traffic to your store without having to spend thousands on paid ads every single week or every single day or every single month. This is the way to bring in that traffic without having to spend an enormous amount of money on paid advertising. And of course, when you have your organic traffic from your Dream 100 list coming into your store, then you have paid ads on one side, all of a sudden, your sales are going through the roof. You're having an incredible time because there's consistency. There's no feast and famine months. It's consistently on the way up and growing. And over time, as you refine your Dream 100 even more, you find even more influencers or certain websites or forums or channels that your dream customers are engaging with and congregating, then it becomes even better because your Dream 100 gets better and better over time. And before we finish up, I just wanted to give you another example of what this Dream 100 strategy can look like if you actually go and apply it. So let's take the example of Solar Garden. So it was our first brand that we launched, and it was selling solar garden lights. And so if we think about, okay, who was our ideal customer? We found that from our research and from buying data and from exactly, all the research that we're doing around the product and who was currently buying it, it was a 45 to 55-year-old female based in Australia. They had an interest in gardening. They had an interest in Better Homes and Gardens, the magazine and the TV show. They had an interest in home improvement, home decor, and anything along those lines. So we found that is our ideal buyer, and we named them Carol. So we said Carol is the dream buyer for the product based on everything that we've seen so far, all that buying data and our market research. And from there, we thought, where is Carol hanging out online? And we found out that it's Better Homes and Gardens. She's following that page on Facebook. She's also engaged in gardening Facebook groups. So we connected with a few of those. And then we think, okay, are there any online publications or websites or forums that she's actively engaged in? We found some more in the gardening space and some more Australian specific ones. So all of a sudden, you start building out this Dream 100 list of all of these places where your ideal customer is hanging out. And so it's a real life example. And we use this Dream 100 strategy for any brand that we launch. We recommend it to all of the clients that we work with because it's such an easy way to get your foot in the door, especially when you're getting started, to infiltrate these hyper engaged audiences and tap into where your dream customers are online already without having to spend loads on paid advertising. So that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you got loads of value from this, and you can use the Dream 100 strategy as you're just getting started, or if you're going from 5 figures a month to 6 figures to 7 figures a month and scaling up, this is an incredible way to bring in floods of organic traffic, floods of incredibly highly qualified traffic that's actually your dream buyers to your store every single day. So with that being said, I appreciate you tuning in for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.